Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to my Game Week 14 team selection video. It's a short turnaround between 13 to 14. I'm recording this on Tuesday morning. We've had some press conferences yesterday. The big news, of course, is that Isak is fit now for the Liverpool fixture. That news just broke yesterday. For those of you guys who own Isak, I think that is big news. I think Newcastle step up the game generally when the big teams come to visit, especially in a night game. So let's jump right into the team selection. Will be shorter this week than usual. First up, quick look back at game week 13. Was my best game week of the season by some distance. I clocked 86 points, 90 minus 4. It was the best game week rank also, sub 500k game week rank. I hadn't had a below 1 million game week rank before this, so selling Haaland worked out quite well. My moves this week were Raul to Pedro. I had two free transfers, so Raul to Joao Pedro was one, and the hit I took was for Haaland out for Nico Jackson, and for Morgan Rogers, I got in Bukayo Saka. So both Haaland and Rogers blanked 4 points each, and these guys got 24 between them. So even with the hit, I'm about 16 points up on that move. A lot of team value gained as well, so I'm as happy as I could be, and hopefully the season can kick on now. Just look at some performers over there. Nouri, not getting as forward. Attacking numbers also aren't really there, but on the second half, he did play on the wing, so I'm hoping that improves. Flecken, I think I will be playing him again. I did think about potentially playing Fabianski, but West Ham just looks so poor. Gabriel expected to be fit once again. The substitution Arteta says was a planned one. No real alarm bells over there. We should be absolutely fine. Mikalenko, I think this is against Wolves will probably be the last good fixture he has for a while, so I need to start looking for a replacement soon. Salah keeps doing Salah things, 13 points there. Bumo is a concern. We discussed it to a large detail in the pod, but news has just come in now that Martinez will be missing midweek for Villa. I think he has a fracture in his hand, so very difficult for goalkeepers to really play then. Palmer, 14 points. Captain came through. Was a lot of fun watching that game as a Chelsea fan. Although certain points I did worry about Palmer's positioning, not taking as many shots in the box as I'd like. Saka came through, the highest scorer this week, 18 points. Strand Larson going big over Cunha was some vindication for that decision. Hopefully I can claw some of the variance back. Jackson with 6, I was hoping he could have got more, had 2-3 more opportunities where he could have scored, but that's Jackson things. Joao Pedro's numbers were quite poor that game, but I think again at his price he's an easy hold. Now let's look at the week ahead. First up, always a look at the fixtures now up to game week 20th. This is for the entire festive period that's coming. Chelsea, Arsenal right on top. Now Man City, as you can see, come up to third on the ticker, so their fixtures are getting a lot better. Wolves fixtures are still good for the next 4. After that, it takes a bit of a turn in 18, 19 and 20, but again, the games are at home in 18 and 20 as well against Manchester United and Forest and Tottenham aren't a good defense, so it's not bad at all. Bournemouth, very good. I think if you're looking for a Boomo replacement, Semenyo is one you can look at. Liverpool, the Newcastle fixture is probably the only difficult one in the next few. Then after that, the run is a lot better. You'd expect them to climb to second or third in the next update. Villa also go on a bit of a good run. Let's look at the bottom now. Everton, as we mentioned, the fixtures get really poor. Manchester United games also in the next 6. They have 3 away games against Arsenal, City and Liverpool. The home games are against Forest, Bournemouth and Newcastle. So bit of a difficult run over there. West Ham also, they pick up for the next 5. But I think if you're going to get on a West Ham player, the next 2 in particular are really good. Leicester and Wolves. Bournemouth away, we've seen that Bournemouth at the vitality can be quite good. Brighton are no mugs either. I think Bournemouth and Brighton are both better teams than Southampton, than West Ham at that point. And the next game, of course, is against Southampton, which is good. So it's a good block of 5 fixtures if you want to take it on. Now, Sertap has released some projections with the short turnaround. We'll just review them. Won't take up too much time with the short turnaround. Now, these are the top 5 defenders as per projections for the next 6 game weeks. Trent is right on top with 26.7. He's the highest projected defender in, let's say, 4 of the next 6 weeks. You can see that medal over there. It's a gold over there. He's also the second highest projected in 14. Gabriel has some good fixtures, particularly in game week 17 and 19, 18 as well, Ipswich. Van Dijk similarly, but I think if you're going like 6.4 for Van Dijk, 6.9 for Trent, 0.5 you get Trent. Timber's numbers are climbing up now. He's still behind Saliba and Calafiori, although I don't entirely agree with that. Guardiola's numbers are still good over there, but with City, you just can't go anywhere near them. Gusto makes it. I find that a bit of a strange one. Look at midfielders. The three big dogs, Salah, Palmer, Saka, obviously up there. What's interesting with Saka is he's not the highest projected any of the weeks, but you don't mind that. You have Palmer, who's the highest in 14, Salah, who's the highest in 15. Then again, we go with Palmer in 16, 17, you have Salah. 18, you have Salah. Again, 19, you have Salah. So you can easily cover the Haaland captaincy. In terms of forwards, though, Haaland is naturally the highest projected forward for the next 6 game weeks. Watkins also for the next couple is interesting, but I think there are some minutes risk there. Jackson is not the highest in the top 3 for any of the weeks except this one. That's something to note. With Isak, for game week 16 and 17 in particular look good for him. Even the Villa fixture in 18 is quite nice. So potentially a hop off in 16 if you're looking for captaincy for Isak around then, depending on where Callum Wilson is, looks interesting. Amongst the budget guys, Joao Pedro and Wood. Cunha doesn't really count as budget anymore, but he's rated higher than Solanke at a cheaper price, so that's worth noting. Apologies for the drilling noise, the neighbors are getting some renovation done. Looking at game week 14, the odds which we discussed at length of the pod, the most goals are projected to be scored at City and Chelsea. I do think Haaland captaincy is a decent option if you manage to hold him for this long, but Forest have the best XGC in the league thus far, so wouldn't really go there. We covered some benching dilemmas on the pod. We all agree if you have Rico Lewis, you play him. You obviously play your Arsenal, Liverpool defenders. Between Mykolenko and Nouri, it was a bit of a toss-up. Pras and I favored playing the more attacking player. Ella liked playing Mykolenko, so you can take your pick over there. But Rodgers, I think, is quite benchable this week when you compare. Like, if you're debating between a Boomo and Rodgers, we all like Boomo a bit more. Rodgers really is a good first bench option this week, but I think I would be starting Cunha and even Strand Larsen over him. Again, another visual with the same data. Villa's numbers are very good over here, but I think Frank might set up a bit more pragmatic. Clean sheets also, Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton again are 4th highest, so there is some merit in playing that Mykolenko over there. Now, a plug for Sleeper. It's the start of a new month. I think there's 6 game weeks coming up in December. So if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, and you probably do if you've been following our content, in Sleeper, by joining a Pick'em League, you just have to pick the result every weekend. Win, draw, loss. You get a point for each. And the winning manager in a general pool per month gets a jersey. And if you're part of a Discord, that is our Patreon or YouTube membership, then we're giving out 3 jerseys every month to the monthly winners. We already sent out about 12, 13 jerseys to all parts of the world. It's a good week to start playing, and I think in particularly there's some interesting matchups this week that could go either way, especially the first 3 you see: Ipswich Palace, Leicester, West Ham, Everton, Wolves. So worth getting on now if you haven't started playing. It's completely free to play. There's no gambling involved whatsoever. You can download the app using the code on the left and join our league using the code on the right. The links are also in the description, so you can check those out as well. Now again, always useful to look at captaincy in particular for these projections. Now let's have a look at who is the highest projected over the next few weeks now. We have now Palmer, who is the highest projected for game week 14. Haaland 2nd, Salah 3rd. Moving on to game week 15, Salah is actually the highest projected away to Everton. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff, so it's going to be Gandhi versus Salah in that one. Haaland is 2nd, Watkins is in 3rd. Looking at game week 16, Haaland still isn't the top projected scorer over there. It's actually Palmer. Salah is 2nd, home to Fulham. Haaland is 3rd. That's interesting. Although that by then, if City's form picks up, you expect this projection to jump up for Haaland a little bit. The Manchester United game is always a feisty one. Then again, looking at game week 17, Salah is top, away to Tottenham. Haaland 2nd. No, that's Palmer 2nd. Haaland is in 3rd. Looking at game week 18, Salah home to Leicester is top. Palmer is 3rd, Haaland is 2nd. So only around game week 19 where Haaland is a top predicted option away to Leicester, while Salah has West Ham and Palmer has Ipswich. I mean, I'd probably go Palmer to Ipswich anyway, but Haaland to Leicester, of course, could also be big. So worth noting, you can easily get away without Haaland if you have the Salah, Palmer, Saka thing. A watch list update ahead of game week 14. Top goalkeepers were Bruggen, Rea, and Sanchez. In defense, Trent, Gabriel, Nouri, Timber, and Joe Gomez also want to monitor with his price. In midfield, Palmer, Saka, Bowen, Mitoma, and Kudus is one to watch out for, who's coming back for West Ham after a long suspension. In forwards, Jackson, Joao Pedro, Pras 2.0, also known as Evanilson, Cunha, and Isak are the ones we should be keeping an eye on. This is how I'm set up for game week 14. I have 2.8 million in the bank. Got Flecken in goal, Nouri, Gabriel, and Lewis. Salah vice captain, Bumo, Semenyo, Palmer captain, Saka, Jackson, and Joao Pedro. With Strand Larsen, Mikalenko, and Greaves on the bench. I don't feel great about benching Strand Larsen. It doesn't feel good benching a player who just scored 2 goals the previous game, but it was from very low XG, only 0.2. Everton, as you saw, they're the 4th highest odds for a clean sheet, and Wolves are generally much better, I feel, at home. If this was a home game, I would have been tempted to play Strand Larsen potentially over Bumo, but with Bumo now being on penalties, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to play him over Semenyo either, who's also playing a home game. The temptation, of course, now is to spend the 2.8 million I have in the bank, go for Mikalenko to Trent. That does make the team look a lot better, but what that does, it leaves me only 0.2 in the bank. So in terms of future moves, I'm very constrained. I have a lot of players at very low price. Like for example, if Semenyo gets injured, Pedro or Larsen get injured, there's nowhere really I can go. So it's very limiting in terms of flexibility, and I don't like that. I'd like to give it another week, especially now that Isak is fit. I don't like that fixture very much for clean sheets for Liverpool. So the idea is probably roll this week, stick with Palmer cap, assess the landscape next week. Who knows, if Jackson gets booked, then probably the bench will be required. I might need to upgrade. I still haven't made up my mind whether I'm going to do Strand Larsen to Cunha, but going for Trent sort of kills that option. I also want to keep Timber open. I think Timber could be also very good value at 5.5 versus Trent at 6.9. Short video for today. I hope you guys found it useful. As always, do like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 35k subscribers by Christmas. We are 34.1. We would love your help to get us there. There's a lot of content that's going to be coming. So do tune in. Thanks for watching and good luck with the game week.